I want to talk about this today. Why you are not happy. And there can be many reasons why you're not happy. So let's not take this out of context. But I want to be real with each and every one of you. And I want to talk to you about this. And please put your feelings to the side. Please wear your tough skin. Please understand this is all out of love. But a lot of us, including myself at times, we aren't happy because we're living in a time that is done. We aren't happy because we're trying to change something that can't be changed. We aren't happy because we're still hoping and wishing things can go back to how they used to be and how they were. It is impossible to move forward with your life. It's impossible to move on with your life if you are still trying to recreate something and go back to a time that is done. And a lot of us are what we're doing. We're hoping and praying to bring things back in our life that aren't good for us. We're hoping and praying to bring things in our life that are good for us, but keep us from our greatness. You have to understand this truth. Everything isn't meant to last forever. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. Trust me, I get it. It's like a dagger to the heart when you hear those things. But for a lot of us, we're not happy because we're not moving forward to actually create our happiness. We're sitting here waiting for the world to give us happiness. We're waiting on here I go. You're waiting on somebody to give us happiness. You're waiting on something to give you happiness. Write this down and understand this truth. And I can press in after this. You can get off if you want after this. Understand this truth. Happiness is not an external thing. It's an inside job. Stop depending on things outside of you to make you happy. Stop depending on things outside of you to give you peace. Stop depending on things outside of you to give you joy. Stop depending on things outside of you to make you love yourself. Those things are an inside job. Happiness comes from within. You shouldn't be dependent on something or someone to give you something that you should be giving yourself. But a lot of us, we can't give it to ourselves because we're being controlled by something that we can't change. We're still trying to go back into 10 years. We're still trying to go back 5 years ago. We're still trying to go back last year. Those things are done. Those things are dead. Those things need to be buried so you actually can move forward in your life and create something new for your life. Create something better for your life. Create something great for your life. But as long as you're sitting here waiting on closure, waiting on understanding, waiting, you're never going to realize that you can give yourself what you need. Happiness is a choice. It's a decision. It's not a destination. Some of us think, oh, I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when I get a relationship. I'll be happy when I get more money. I'll be this when I get this. No, it's not about the destination. It's about the decision. You can decide to be happy right now. You can decide to have peace right now. You can decide to be fulfilled right now. You can decide to live in joy right now, because I know they say happiness works off of what's happening. Forget that. Happiness shouldn't work off of what's happening. Happiness should be something that you should love and give yourself. But what a lot of us make the mistake is that we're waiting on things. I know happiness is temporary. We heard that. Happiness is temporary, joy is permanent. Happiness can be permanent too. I really believe that. It can be permanent too. Because that is an inside thing that we can enjoy and give ourselves. We can give ourselves happiness right now in the instance. Right now in this, I can be happy that I'm drinking this water right now. I got water, I can be happy right now. Right? But a lot of us, what we do is we're dependent on all these things. Whatever emotion you want to say, happiness, joy, peace, you choose. But a lot of us, we're dependent on outside entities, outside things and people, outside situations to provide us what we should be giving ourselves. What should we be giving ourselves? You're a decision away from being happy. Happiness don't have to work off of what's happening. I was happy today, and I was around mosquitoes and bugs in nature. Wasn't nothing happening around me that should have provided my happiness, but I was happy because I chose to be. It was a choice. It was a choice. In the midst of chaos, I still choose peace. People say, oh, you got to be in peaceful things to have peace. No, it's a choice. And a lot of us don't want to hear that. We don't like to hear it's on us. We don't like to hear that conversation, because for so long we've been a victim. For so long we've been blaming everybody. For so long we've been self-sabotaging. So when we hear it's our responsibility for our happiness, when we hear it's our responsibility for our peace, when we hear it's our responsibility for our progression, when we hear that, we don't like it, right? We get angry, we get mad, because we think about, no, it's my ex's responsibility. They took it away, so they got to bring it back to me. No, it's my job's responsibility. It's my parents' responsibility. It's Trent's responsibility, right? It's everybody. No, it's yours. And you should be smiling right now because now you realize that you don't have to depend on nothing or no one to give you what you need. So this week, today, this moment, I want you to decide to give yourself happiness, to give yourself peace, to give yourself joy. Because it's an internal thing. But we've been confused in this world to think that it's external. I got to have all these things around me and these things surrounding me for me to be happy inside, for me to have joy inside. I've seen people that look like they have a miserable life, but they love it. I've seen people that have less that still have more than most of us. I see people that quote unquote have nothing, they still have everything because they made a choice. They decided. They decided, y'all. And that's all that life is. Y'all been fooled to think that you got to have millions of followers. I've had millions of followers and been miserable inside. Yeah, and that's facts. That ain't nobody telling you stuff that sound good. That's real, and I'll share that with y'all. I've had money and been miserable. I've had all these things and been miserable. So don't let people fool you to think it's what you don't have is what you're missing. Nah, it's what you're failing to see that you do have. That's what's missing in your life. What you're missing is appreciation. What you're missing is gratitude. What you're missing is ownership. Because you're in control of what you give yourself. Y'all trying to control somebody giving something to you when you ain't in no form or fashion in control of somebody else or something else giving something to you. You might feel you deserve it. You might feel that you earned it. But they ain't got to give you nothing. So why are you living life being a receiver? Why are you living life waiting? Why are you living life? Live life being a giver. And what I mean by being a giver, of course, giving other people, but I'm talking about giving to yourself. A lot of you live life waiting on receiving from other people. And that's beautiful when it happens, right? We love when it happens. When people give us compliments, when people make us feel good, when things happen great, we love it. But a lot of us, we spend our whole entire life being a receiver. I was a receiver in football. You know what I hated about being a receiver in football? Is that it took so many other factors for me to get the ball. The coach had to call the play. First, I had to be in the game. The coach had to call the play. The quarterback had to throw me the ball. The line had to block. I was a receiver, and I love being a receiver. But it took so many factors in order for me to actually be the best receiver I can be. And when it comes to life, a lot of us are living as the receiver and not the giver. And so today, right now in this moment, the reason I came on this live, I didn't want to make it long. The reason I want to give you this message, because I was talking to myself about this too. I'm deciding, making a choice today, and hopefully for the rest of this week, to be the giver. Not just the giver to men and women, not just the giver to the external world outside of me, because I'm going to do that too, but the giver to me. I'm not going to expect somebody to give me what I'm not willing to give myself. I'm not going to expect somebody to give me happiness when I'm not giving it to myself. I'm not going to expect somebody to give me peace when I'm not giving it to myself. I'm not going to expect somebody to give me joy when I'm not giving it to myself. I am deciding to be the giver to my life. And as I give to my life, as I walk in my light, as I walk in the things how I want other people to treat me, as I said a million times, right? You tell people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I'm going to tell people how to treat me because they're going to see me giving love to myself. They're going to see me giving support to myself. A lot of us, right? We complain nobody is supporting us. Dang, I went here tonight. I know this hurts a little bit, y'all. I get it. It hurts a little bit. I understand it. But a lot of us, we are complaining about nobody supports me. And that sucks because people should support you, right? Your friends should support you. Your family should support you. But the question that I have for you, are you a giver of support to yourself first? Because if you ain't supporting yourself, why are you expecting somebody else to do the same? Now, there's a lot of people who are going to see inside of you, a person like myself, when you ain't even see in yourself, and I'm going to give somebody like the support, the encouragement that they need. But the world don't work like that. Some of us, we're waiting on somebody to give us what we should give ourselves. You tell people how to treat you by how you treat you. You know, some of us on here is like, man, Trent, nobody believes in me. My inbox is filled with that. Nobody believes in me. My mom don't believe in me. My friends don't believe in me. My spouse don't believe in me. My kids don't believe in me. Nobody believes in me. My coach don't believe in me. And I asked him this question. Do you believe in you? Why should it take somebody else believing in you to spark the belief in you? Why should it take, and I understand, man, it's a beautiful thing when it happens. And it happens a lot. Somebody believes in somebody and they believe in themselves and life is great. But I want to change the narrative of waiting on somebody to do something for you. You don't need the right circumstances to believe in you. You don't need the right situations to believe in you. All you need to do is trust what your soul is telling you. The thing that you ignore for far too long. For far too long, because you talked yourself out of it. We can go on a whole nother video about that. But all I ask is that if you want people to believe in you, make sure that you give that belief in you. Because how you treat yourself becomes contagious to everybody else. It's very hard for people, not saying people don't, but it's very hard for people to give me the opposite of what I give myself. When people see me supporting myself, when people see me working on myself, when people see me believing in myself, they tend to do the same. Because I'm setting the tone for how I want to be treated. I'm setting the standard. Man, y'all ain't hearing me tonight, man. Y'all are not hearing me. Please get this. And I'm fired up about it because I see so many people who don't. And they go through this life as a victim. I understand things that happen to you are unfair. And it breaks my heart. Every time I talk about self-accountability, I see people get off. But as long as I'm talking about it's everybody else's fault, people will stay here and amen and clap and shout. Right? As long as the pastor, I'm not a pastor, but as long as the pastor is saying, don't let people treat you like, hey, amen. But as soon as the pastor says, your responsibility, oh, really? Really? That should make your heart light up to know that you're in control and you can set the tone. You can set the standard. I tell the athletes that I coach all the time, be the standard. Damn, beat the standard. If the standard ain't up to your standard, beat it. But I'm telling you, be the standard. How you treat yourself, how you care for yourself, how you respect yourself, how you love yourself, how you cherish yourself, how much grace you give to yourself, forgiveness you give to you, all the things. You be the standard of what you want people to give you, not the opposite way around. But like I say at the end of every single message, it all starts with you, y'all. I don't come on here for significance. I don't come on here even because I had a message. I come on here because my heart is crying out for me to give this today. You know, when I mean my message, I don't come on here with some formula idea how I want this to work. My soul speaks, I listen. I press live. I don't know what's going to come out, where it's going to go. Y'all know we go in all different directions. But I know somebody in here needed this. And if you're a person on here right now and you're watching me, especially during the time when this is live, next Sunday, we turn it up. Right? For the next month, you're going to move on with your life. From whatever it is that's holding you back, you're going to move on with your life. So you text that number below. Even if you don't want to move on and take a part of that, still text that number. Because I'm sending daily truths to you. Pretty much daily. Maybe every other day. A few times a week, I'm sending daily truths to you that can spark that reminder inside of you. David, I appreciate the love, brother. That sparks that reminder in you. And when you see me come on live, I hope that you look at me and say, I don't know if this applies to me. I don't know if this is real for me. But I hope that when you see me speak and you hear me speak, that it makes you think internally and ask yourself, what could I do in my life to better myself? because I'm not speaking to you from a place of being at the mountaintop. I'm right here with you. I'm figuring this thing called life out with you. I ain't no expert. I don't have, somebody came up to me the other day and was like, oh, you're the expert. Who? I ain't no expert. I'm far from that. I'm not perfect. I'm not pretty. I'm not professional. But for damn sure, Trent Shelton is purposeful. And that's available to all of us. That's available to all of us. We all can be purposeful. And that's my hope and that's my wish for you when you come over here is to look at me and say, man, if Trent can do it, if Trent can figure this thing out, his human self, then I can too in my way. I'm on my pursuit of peace. I'm on my pursuit of joy. I'm on my pursuit of me being the greatest version I can be. And my pursuit might not be your pursuit. But I know that something has to connect and click that can truly help your life. So as I recap this briefly, I want you to be the giver of all things to yourself that you expect somebody else to give you. I want it to start with you. Don't have to end with you. I want it to start with you. I want you to be the standard. I want you to set the tone for your life and watch how your life changes. We think life-changing events, and sometimes, don't get it twisted, right? Sometimes it's some miraculous event. We think that there's some like big thing, this big burst that happens. It's not the truth. It's oftentimes a choice. Just one little choice. That you decide, I'm going to be the standard. I'm going to be the giver of my life. And as you start to do those things and you get a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now, you realize that it all started with that choice. It all started on that live October 2nd with Trent. And he said it. And I was thinking I needed some whole list of plans, but it just started with a choice of me being the standard, of me being the giver of happiness and joy to my life. So I love you. I'm proud of you. And when I say that, I'm not saying it because it sounds good, but I'm seriously proud of you because I don't know, a lot of people don't know, maybe nobody knows of what you're currently dealing with, fighting through, surviving through, and you're still here, man. You realize that? You realize how powerful you are, how strong you are, that despite everything that you're going through, you're still here. You're still wanting better. Despite all the bad things that are happening in your life, you're still wanting better. Despite all the odds that are against you, you're still believing that there's something that's for you. I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to navigate this thing called life when everything is coming against you, when everything is going wrong, when it's hit after hit, storm after storm. But you're the type of person that sees the storm, but also know the storm can produce growth. The storm can produce change. You're the person that doesn't have a prison perspective. You have a powerful one. And to the people that are asking, how do I sign up? You can go to rehabuniversity.com or you can just text that number below. Okay, you'll get a text here this week about information, how you can be a part of, etc. But whether you do that or not, I'm not gonna say I don't care because I do care to help. But that doesn't matter to me. Because I'm always going to show up and bring value just like this. Because I know that you have something inside of you that you've allowed the blockage of confusion, the blockage of opinions, the blockage of hard times and circumstances to make you forget that under all that blockage of pain and hate and all those things, there's that heart, that beautiful soul, that childlike soul that's yearning to come out. Me and Tristan were fishing today. And we're in the canoes, the kayaks, and we're fishing. And Tristan, I just cast it into the water. Just casted my bait into the water. And I said, that word is a powerful word, Tristan. When you cast something, you're putting it out there. And I was like, that's the word for today. So I want you to cast that faith. I want you to cast that vision. I want you to cast that healing. Because a lot of us, we're expecting to catch a healing without casting. belief. A lot of us, we're expecting to catch change without casting a choice. Take action. Action activates everything that you need. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Maybe I'm on Instagram Live tonight. I'm not sure. But thank you for rocking with me. Share this with somebody who needs it. Maybe it's a kid. Maybe somebody that you know, nobody on this live. But I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me and connect with me throughout all these years. I know some of you are new. Some of you have been here since 2009. And I honor that you even consider giving me your time to watch me on here, to think I have something of value to give you. I will never take that for granted. And I truly appreciate you. All right, you guys have a beautiful night. Protect your peace, protect your soul. Let's get it.